No, I'm kidding. Thank you everyone for coming. If you have not heard me earlier, please let us know in the chat, whichever chat you're at. If you're a member or organizer of a meetup, let us know which one it is. If you are not a member or an organizer, just let us know anyway where you are from so that maybe we could help you in the future start one or guide you. I am Monat Esparcia, founder of Ferti Solutions
I'm Glen
Incorporated.
Chiasson. Sorry, Manette. I'm
No, no,
Glen.
no.
I'm Glen Chiasson. Both Manette and I are the hosts of the Vancouver, Canada ServiceNow Developer Meetup, and here we are. This is the very first Meetup Mixer live stream. And the purpose here, Manette had the idea to unite people, organizers, and attendees from all around the globe with the ServiceNow meetups. So today, we are happy to introduce our very first guest on our very first episodes. We have Donté Hooker from Charlotte, the Charlotte, North Carolina meetup in the US, and Ishaan Shoor from the Melbourne, Australia meetup. So Donté, you wanna introduce yourself?
Sure. Again, Donté Hooker, been Charlotte Meetup organizer almost, I think, going on the third year. ServiceNow space for about 17 years. ServiceNow MVP this year, first time, like I said before. And then also, yeah, that's right. I appreciate it. It was very nice to meet everybody there. And then finally, been in the ServiceNow space a little over 17 years. So kind of new, rookie-ish.
You've heard of ServiceNow, right? You've heard of it.
I've heard of it. I've heard of it a few times.
Thanks, Donté. Ishaan?
Thanks. So myself Ishaan, I am a ServiceNow certified technical architect and ServiceNow MVP. Yeah, also organizer of the ServiceNow Melbourne Meetup, and say like similar to Dante, I started in October 21, so just touching the third year of organizing these meetups, and yeah, just run similar live streams as these ones, and yeah, into the ServiceNow space for about 6 years now, 8 plus years into IT, and yeah, just love the way the journey is going. All right,
That's
let's.
Thank
that's
you both for
awesome.
joining.
Yes, and
Yeah,
before we
thank you for
start,
having us.
oh yeah, thank you. Before we start, I'd like to give a shout out to our guests here first, and just to all the guests. People were asking they can't unmute, and the last 15 minutes of the thing will unmute, allow everyone to unmute and camera, so that we'll have like kind of like discussions later, and everyone can speak. In the first part of this, we will be interviewing Dante and Ishan, and just a shout out to Alex Martinez is saying Dante. With a lot of exclamation points there. And we have Chase Benson saying, hey there. Hi, Chase. Thank you for joining. And he says, you all are doing great. Thank you. Despite this audio thing. And Prishu is here too, confirming that they can hear. Oh, Famila from London, all the way from London, Medina. We can hear you, she says. And that's that for live. And then we have Gurdeep, we have Trin Joe, and then we have from Calgary, Yadav. Okay, so we'll read the comments again later, but we shall start. Dante, so when you were first introduced to the ServiceNow Developer Meetups, what resonated with you, or how did it go actually?
For me, it was I've always been in more of a giving space. You know, a lot of people have helped me, and so I've attended some meetups. Didn't even know we had one in Charlotte in COVID time. Kind of masked a lot of things as a lot. A good friend of mine ran it before I did, and I went to a couple of them, and then it just kind of died a little bit. And so I wanted to resurrect it because I just thought it was important, especially with the new next gen graduates coming out. I was like, it'd be really important if we can just kind of get this thing rolling. In Charlotte, we have a lot of developers, but we don't connect. So the goal for me was to try to get all of these people here between, I would say Charlotte, and I would extend out to Raleigh, Durham area, if you will. And just so we can all like have a forum to where we can all connect and geek out, as I like to say. So for me, it's nothing better than to talk about ServiceNow and the different solutions that we've all done, not just me, and then just share that knowledge, and with a little humor. For me, you're gonna get that always. But that's really what drove my passion, is just to kind of help, continue to feed the community as it feeds me. Because I don't know everything, like you always hear me say, and it's always good that I can go to community at ServiceNow.com. I can go to another meetup online, which I have. And I was like, you know what, maybe why not, and so that's how it all happened. And like I said, my predecessor actually reached out to me and said, would you mind doing it? And I said, oh, mind? I didn't know we had one. I would love to. And so I met with Chuck Tomasi and the rest of the team, and it just took it from there. So again, it's a joy for me. We actually have one tomorrow, so it's going to be really cool. I got 60 people registered for the
Ooh.
first time, so I'm really
Wow.
excited about that. Yeah, when so I guess this is, we'll talk about this more about this online. I guess people would prefer that, because in person I had like 15, Zoom I got 60. So go figure.
Ooh.
So
Oh
we're
my
gonna.
God. Okay. Well,
I'm
definitely.
thinking I got a little.
We will have follow-up questions for you on that now, because all our other meetup organizers here and members and those that are wanting to start one are listening. So we'll have a follow-up question on how that 60, we've never had 60 actual show up. But that's also one thing to note, is that you've revived a meetup that was dead, right? I think there's a lot of meetups all over the world that are no longer active, and I think that's something that people want to do, is revive. So we'll talk about that later too.
Okay.
And Donté, I just want to say, I heard you, one of the reasons why you said there with all the next gen people coming out. So that's awesome. I'm heavily involved and, constantly reminded of the importance of network. So that's awesome that, you're getting, next gen people there and introducing them. And who better to introduce than Donté Hooker? I mean, come on. That's awesome. So thank you. Thank you very much. Awesome. And Ishaan, same question to you. What was your first, what resonated with you, the very first meetup that you attended?
So I came across these meetups back in 2021, and I remember attending a couple of these events in pre-COVID times, and it was going to ServiceNow office, getting to meet people. The turnouts back then were huge, right? And we had 30-40 people, and people coming in, chatting. There were presentations. It was not, even though it was it's still called developer meetup, but we had business analyst focused presentations back then as well. So just to keep the community as a whole. But then COVID hit, right? And everything stopped. And I was not the organizer back in those sorry, this is 2019, not 2021. So yeah, 2019, and I was not there. There was a person who used to organize it, and it just stopped happening. And yeah, COVID went on, and then I started seeing one of the meetups that I saw online was the Vancouver meetup, and the other meetup that I saw online was the Bangalore meetup. Pranav were organizing that, and I attended these events online. And started thinking what's happening with the Melbourne meetup? Where did it go? And I looked at the organizer, who have no events in the past 2.5 years. So that's when it came to mind, how can I progress and how can I go about it, right? So but again, I had no idea where to reach, what to do. So I did a very simple thing. I looked it up in the co-organizers of that particular meetup group, which was ServiceNow Developer Program, and I think Lily is the second one. And then we are there. So I just messaged ServiceNow Dev Program, hey, this meetups looks no one seems to be organizing. So I'm happy to pick it up and take it forward. And I was not expecting a response back, but I think in a day or two I got a response back that if there's the meetup, the organizer is not active, and do you want to take this up? And again, it was a big responsibility, and I was pretty nervous, will I be able to do this? But I said, yeah, let's do this. So yeah, that's how the journey started, and yeah,
That's awesome, and I know a lot of them. Like, no surprise, during COVID, a lot of them went
Yeah.
dark, right? Because I mean, the world closed down, right? So, and I know
Mm-hmm.
that there's still a lot of cities that are still dark that had previous. So hopefully, we have more people like Donté and Ishaan to go and revive those ones that are still dark. But thank you both. All right, back to you in a
Absolutely,
minute.
yeah.
Minette.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ishan. So did you actually like hire or recruit a co-organizer? Because it is a big responsibility.
No, not yet. Like I don't have a co-organizer, but like
Wow.
like as and when required, I've received like support from my internal colleagues or like another community member, like or a friend, like from ServiceNow space. Like I just ask them if I need something that let's just get this stuff, like maybe grabbing drinks, food. Yeah. So yeah.
That's awesome. I do actually remember that we had when COVID came, we did, as you mentioned, we went virtual. So I'm glad you found us because that's how we connected as well, and we
Yeah.
just kept
Yes.
connecting. That's awesome. All right. Okay. So Dante, before we forget about it, because I, along with many others here, are probably very interested in that 60 tur- people showing up. So how did you do it? You did in person before, but then people were not showing up, and then you did virtual. Or are you doing like are you taking turns virtual and in? How are you actually doing it?
Yeah, actually, this was the virtual was an idea that I got from our meetup meetings. A lot of and then you're like your team there, and I was like, oh, so I don't have to be in person to do the meetup. And what I'm finding is that when for me, I open it up to everyone. I don't care where you are,
Mm-hmm.
and I use those words when I posted like on LinkedIn. Come one, come all. Any locations are welcome. I think so. When I said that in my LinkedIn post, people actually said, "Oh, I can join." Okay, great. So I've had a huge spike of increase of meetup. People join the group as well as to attend the meeting. Now this is just registration. I'll tell you tomorrow what the true number of attendees will be. As we
Mm-hmm.
all know, we'll get a huge number of registrations, and then because last time when Chuck came actually here, we had registered about 35, 40, but we got
Mm-hmm.
about 18.
Oh,
So you all know you get registered. Hopefully you can
yeah,
get
yeah.
50%. So I'm happy if I get 25, 30. I'm happy with 15. But I mean somebody's going to get something out of it. But that's really how I like to do. Is just try to open it up on LinkedIn and says, hey, come one, come all. And I think for me, what I'm going to start to do is not just even if I'm in person, I'm going to also always offer a virtual option.
Nice, nice.
Ah.
Yeah, so I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to duel it all the time and just spin up a Zoom or a Teams, and just say, okay, fine. And then those who can't be here can join virtually because we all have jobs, we all have families, and it's hard to break away and drive 20 minutes somewhere. But it's definitely easier to be like, let me jump on my phone and listen in. Maybe I have a question, maybe and then two, the topics. What I'm hearing, I asked, like a lot of folks that I either mentor or next gen folks I reached out to just kind of privately on LinkedIn. Says, what would you like to hear about? Like what will get you going? And a lot of people ask me, Dante, I want to know integrations. Like I hear about integrations. What is it? How would I do
Mm-hmm.
this? What is the basic things that other applications can integrate with ServiceNow? And so I says, oh, okay, well, I'll show just an inbound integration. And I got so many messages in LinkedIn about, yes, can you tell
Wow.
me? I need more. So, it's just so I think it's a combination of the topic
Mm-hmm.
along with virtualization for this one. And so,
Okay.
just for me, I'm going to start with series on those things. Like, and then I just again, like I said, to reach out to people asking what the street wants to hear, if you will, and then and try to address that. So that's where I went.
Yeah, no, that's cool. When you actually start doing that, Dante, when you have virtual and in person, please let us know how it goes because I've been thinking about that too. I just don't know how that will work. What that will work out, how they can interact with the screen or whatnot.
Yeah, I'll let you know those logistics. Yeah, because I have one of the buildings that we have access to, we have the video camera pointed at the room. So the
Okay,
interaction is a
okay.
little easier if you
That's
see the
easier.
room, and then we have mics all around the room where I'm going to be hosting it at. So
Okay.
that's why I'm going to do that. Yep.
I love that,
That's
Donté.
definitely.
Like that's awesome. Like not only open, like you said, you don't have to drive 20 minutes. Everyone's got family. They work and all. Opening up to everyone. That's awesome. I love that idea. Hey, Sean, how about you in Melbourne? What kind of, like, have you done virtual? I'm sure you probably went virtual over COVID, but what does your typical meetups look like? Do you switch? Do you do learning? Do you do social? What does that look like for you in Melbourne?
Yeah, so pre-COVID and during COVID times, it has been online. Like we had a very strict lockdown restrictions over here in Melbourne. Like I think that was over the world, like strict, the most strict regulations that we had. But post-COVID, I have I've been having in-person meetups, and these are like I try to mix and match. So like let's say one quarter I'm having a presentation, knowledge sharing. Again, people come in, they network after the presentations, and like I try to get more people engaged. Like even while presenting, hear their thoughts, what's good about the new, like let's say next experience came in, what's good about this or app engine, or it can be any topic that we have. And sometimes I just want, like, go with just, let's say, food and drinks, like networking purely. So my next meetup is in a similar fashion. So you just get them to a pub or a hotel, book a place over there. Everyone gets to just chat and speak their heart out because there's no formality going on over there. Yeah. So that's how I usually go. And in terms of the dropout rate, I mean, that's the biggest key that we've. So I remember in 23 or 22 Q2 meetup, I booked a table for 20 people, and it was just 4 people, including me. I was like, and but yeah, that hasn't actually stopped me. So I always try to get back to the attendees and ask them, like, when do you think is the right date? I can schedule a meetup. What is the right time? So like is it like Tuesday, Wednesday? So usually Fridays people tend to log off early and head home.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Fridays are not a day, and Mondays are pretty busy as well. So it lies somewhere in that middle week, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So but that part of what I understand is Tuesday and Wednesdays, 5 to 6 p.m. They wrap up work and join the meetup. So yeah, and but yeah, in virtual, as Donté said, like we do get a quite a bit of attendance because it goes global. Everyone and anyone can join. So there I've seen like attendance going up to 40, 50. But
Wow.
in person, yeah, but yeah, in person I've seen, like, actual registrations are different, but again, like a 40% dropout rate would be there. So I usually do the booking, looking at that as well. Just learning from
You
experience.
do one on a Saturday? Yeah, don't do.
The very first
Yeah.
barbecue ever, and we had like 8 people show up. But now we have like close to 40 for
Yeah.
our barbecues, which I would like to actually shamelessly advertise, and we're hoping Dante's gonna come. Hopefully Kali can make it also. We don't know, but to anyone listening, you're all welcome. It's August 15, or just message me and Glenn. Yeah, it's a shameless plug in here.
Yeah, we
But
did it. We did it on a Saturday. It was just happened to be scheduling, and then lesson learned later. We're like, yeah, people have family, they have lives, so let's not do
yeah.
that again. All right, back to you, Manette.
Yeah, no matter how important we are not more important than
Never,
social life and
never.
family life. So always take note of that to
Yeah.
all of you Meetup folks. Ishaan, so thank you for sharing that. More or less, how many people again come? And are you also mixing virtual sometimes and in person sometimes as
Yes,
well?
yes. Yeah, I
Okay.
just missed that part. So usually it's in person. I've seen, like, the attendance that I've seen is 15 to 20 people, like, joining the meetup.
Mm-hmm.
And I also do, I've done like post COVID, I've done one virtual meetup. I haven't really gone hybrid. I think that'll like just being one organizer, that might be just too much of work to handle at one go. And yeah, uh, I think yeah, that's how it's been. The
And you do once a quarter, or do you do more than a
Yes,
quarter?
once a quarter, yeah. So
Once a
every three
quarter,
months,
okay.
yeah. So next week is my meetup for this quarter, and then it goes on. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So I'll ask you this first, and then also ask Dante. So then, how do you choose the venue and like food and drinks you mentioned?
Nice.
Did you start with spending it from your own money, or did like everything was paid for by the reimbursement with ServiceNow?
No, no. Since I approached them, to be the organizer, I had like
Mm-hmm.
a intro call with I think Leah was there that time. Was there like onboarding, like not right now Tanvi's joined the same spot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So like I had an intro call. Like she asked me, "Why do you want to do this? Are you planning to do sales pitches in these meetups?" No, all those sorts of questions. And she also gave me that we have this much amount of budget for every quarter, so you don't have
Mm-hmm.
to spend outside of your own pocket. So that has been a great thing as well. And even like once I remember. The budget went over
Yeah,
the
all the
limit.
time for
And
us.
yeah, and they were I thought they won't accommodate it, but I got a full reimbursement back for that as well.
Oh,
So yeah,
good
I
to
mean
know.
yeah, it was like $200 so over the budget, but yeah, I got it. I never asked for it though. That's the nice. The team is nice, right? Supporting. And in terms
Well,
of
good.
the drop, yeah,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah. In terms of dropout rates as well, I spoke to our team that I don't see many people coming in, and they're like whosoever comes in, like are not looking to have a certain number. Even like 5, 10 people are fine.
Yeah.
So that has been again a motivation that let's keep going. We're not stopping. Yeah,
Yeah.
No, absolutely, absolutely. It will just grow. Like, yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. That's perfect. Yeah, so just I was just laughing when you said it goes over. Our budgets also go over, but that's because we tend to be extravagant. Okay, we're like we'd have like Indian food or
Manette's
but
fault. And to put
Glenn makes.
context for those on the call, what we're talking about here is like a lot of meetup organizers, like Ishaan's talking about, and like Dante as well. Food, drink is served. There is portions like Manette, like we do tend to kind of go overboard most of the time, but there it's not pure 100% out of pocket. There is, you heard Ishaan speaking about reimbursement from ServiceNow. So that's, if you are thinking about in the future, it's not pure out of pocket. There is reimbursement. So I just wanted to add that for
Right.
context for the call.
Yeah, also those that want to start a meetup,
Yeah.
it's actually you could really do it within budget, seriously.
Yeah,
If
could
you
be.
really wanted
Yep.
to. You could just
Yep.
have a
Yeah.
pizza and whatnot. We're just extravagant. And as Glenn said, it's my fault. So, yeah.
Exactly
Um,
right.
it's actually, Dante, I would like to know what you guys do for food and drinks and what's the cost and all that.
I made a bad rookie move the first time. I was thinking, after work, a little pick me up. And I was like, yeah, coffee and donuts. Nope, don't do
Mm.
coffee and donuts. That's what I'll tell you. Don't do that. Pizza and beer is on the menu always. It's a very good and way to go. Our soft drink, so I do that from here on out, and it goes over well. I have nothing left. I did the donuts. I took 2 dozen donuts almost home with
Oh.
me. But pizza and beer go on in minutes. So,
Yeah.
but I typically stick to that. I mean, again, then with virtual, we don't, we of course don't do anything. But on site, pizza and soft drinks are probably the main staple. I did do a couple different things one other time where we did, kind of lightweight Asian fusion type style that went over
Oh,
well actually.
nice.
Um,
Oh,
yeah, we had like
yeah.
rolls and spring rolls, different type of rolls, if you will, not sushi rolls, but different type of rolls and lumpia and all that fun stuff. So I'm from California originally, but so I want all the foods.
You got to do the rolls, right? That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yes, lumpia. That's right. That's right. That's right. So yeah, but that's typically what I do. I'll stick. There's a pizza place very near to where I have it. Very easy. As you all, those who do meetups, Sometimes you just need that ease of logistics, that one check in the box. Get okay, done, game over. So
Mm-hmm.
that's what I
And
typically do.
okay, so is that always, do you do meet up in like a pizza area, or do you have other like learning sessions where you have projectors or like whatnot, or how do you do it?
My style typically right now, mainly is I like to show, learning, where I have a projector screen up
Mm-hmm.
where people can see and we talk. It's not me lecturing, right? And then,
Mm-hmm.
unless no one's going to talk back to me, but but I try to incorporate to where we all can do, and I really and go back to the one where Chuck Tomasi came out here. We had every walk of life, right? We had a next gen grad, we had some people who were there for a long time, we had middle of the road people, and there were 5 different perspectives. You hear, I tell a bad joke probably every time, every meetup, that I'm very old school in ServiceNow. I don't use the UI interfaces to create tables. You're gonna hear that bad joke tomorrow. Stuff like that, just to kind of, and then like I'm gonna use UI design. I don't use form design. I don't do any of that stuff, right?
Right.
But it's fun to interact. But a next gen graduate showed me, and I'll shout out here. A colleague, no, not colleague, Kaylee showed me, how to use, certain things in the new UI ish, if you will.
Nice.
And we've had fun about it,
That's
right? Now,
awesome.
all jokes aside, I know how to use it, team. Okay, I just joke about it because some things I like the old way still. I'm
Yeah.
still a form layout person, but that camaraderie or that discussion opened up, and everybody felt like they can have input. So I enjoy. I just say and that last one was, how do you build a catalog item? Very simple, very simple. This is how you build it, and everybody had their own way, and it was so much fun to get that feedback. So that's my style. Is
Mm-hmm.
not, I might just throw out the topic and start showing, and then I field questions because I
Nice.
need information. I
Yeah.
need because I don't want to just lecture. I don't want to lecture. Right? Sorry, I'm
Mm-hmm.
lecturing now, but I don't want. But I don't want that. I want back and forth. I want feedback. I want to talk, and then help people understand. So I'm a
That's
big fan
awesome.
of that, of showing, and then also I think Ishaan touched on it, and then like my next one in person is going to be pure social, right? We're just gonna hang
Mm-hmm.
out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Have
we're gonna
fun.
geek, and I call it geek out and
Yeah.
eat,
Yeah.
right? So that's what we're
Right.
gonna do. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do you perfect? Do you have an actually I'll do that as a follow-up question. Before that, before I turn over things to
Yeah.
Glenn, I just want to just say that Joe here was saying lumpia. So that's actually, I don't know if you guys know that. She must be Filipino because do you know that word actually,
Yeah.
Nate?
Lumpia.
Yeah,
Yes, it
yeah,
is.
it's
Yes,
it's good.
Filipino dish. Yes, very
Yeah,
much.
it's a
Very,
spring roll.
very,
So
very.
what you were saying spring rolls earlier, and Joe was saying lumpia. And yeah, so Taha is saying here Vancouver is the best. Well, that's I felt bad reading that because that's a little bit biased for me. But thank you, Taha, for saying that. Colleen said that she's joined Dante's virtual meetup from Tulsa,
That's
and
awesome.
it was great. And then Alex said they will be there tomorrow, Dante. You have yeah, you have people confirming. And Manav Sharma says hi everyone. And someone yeah. So okay, I'll turn it over to you, Glenn.
Yeah, we'll get the. Would love to get to two questions. So the first thing I'll ask to Sean. So we want to ask this question about both of you. What tips you have? We'll keep it short because we do want to kind of open it up for questions on the Teams call. But that'll be the first question I'll ask you, Sean. And then we all, you both have meetups coming up, so we want time to
Mm-hmm.
advertise your meetup. So first, quick
Absolutely, that would be
question,
next
Sean.
episode.
Yeah, your the very first question here is no, I just forgot.
Tips and tricks.
Thank you, Minette. Uh, Someone organizing. What's your tip for them? Your quick tip for
Yeah,
someone organizing.
the quick tip would be, figure out like few things, few logistics that like I look at is, figure out a location. Like how do you want to do it again? If you want to have a presentation or speak about something, have a like a presentation setup, or you can go any place you like, like hit a hotel or book a table, like have a lounge. And the other tip is, figure out like you'll have to estimate how many people are coming, because like I have seen like a 40% dropout rate every time. So if you are booking, probably book for like a good 100 people, like book for 80 or 75, like just a little bit less the number. And yeah, if like it's not in a place where food is served, we need to have the booking beforehand so that it
Yeah.
gets delivered, right?
Yeah.
So, and
It's a lot of work.
organize the drinks as well. So yeah, those are a few things. And as everyone on the call, I'm also like a pizza, beer, and wine. I think that goes best. So yeah.
And Dante, same to you. Thanks, Ishaan. Dante, same question to you. What's your tips for anyone thinking to starting a meetup?
I think the best thing he said was location, location,
Yeah.
location, location.
Yeah.
Get that down, and I'll add to what I mean by that. Not only just securing it, but when you're there, all the logistics around it. The first place I had controlled access, key card. I had the key card. If I'm upstairs and people are trying to come in a little late, it was tough. Now, luckily, I had the great Chuck Tomasi and his wife, was really awesome to help me out. So his wife actually went downstairs
Oh, wow.
and badged people in and told them where to go.
Wow.
Then there was another, Mark actually set up on the elevator floor when they came up and let them in and walked them into the room. So I would say, typically they'll be in the room. So just secure your location and know that if it has all that logistics, make sure I would say try not to get one like that, or have the logistics set up for that as well. Of course, the food is without question. If you're going to have it, make sure you have the right things. And keep it simple. Don't unless you have, especially I have people now who are interested to help me, which is great. But initially it was just me, so it's very hard when you're doing that. So keep things as simple as possible. Path of least resistance. Just keep it simple. And then lastly, I would just say have your content ready. Another rookie mistake that I have, I know how to build catalog items, but when I got there, I was running around doing so much, I had to gather myself, and it was only 5 minutes, but it was still, I wasn't prepared right when it started. So have all your content ready, before you start. So then when you sit down and set it up, have your browser already up, logged already in, all of that. So when you're ready to kick it off, you're good to go. So those are my, kind of quick wins, and you'll be much better prepared.
That's awesome advice. That's all of it. Like we've gone through all of that in the past. All of it. Yeah. Go ahead, Ishaan.
Yeah.
I just want to add with the location, like just one more thing, like that I did. So I finding a location where I want to present and have food and everything was really difficult for me. Like I could have used my office, but like where I work, but I haven't done that. So I reached out to ServiceNow and the dev team again, Tanvi, Chuck, and everyone, and you won't believe it. Like they helped me, get in touch with a personal over here in ServiceNow Melbourne office, right? And
Wow.
so I've been organizing quite a few meetups over there.
That's
so
awesome.
we do have
So
they
that's
even
really good.
Wait, Ishaan,
yeah.
just to clarify, you did use the ServiceNow office.
Yes, and
Oh.
I've been using it for quite a while now. So because I know the facilities personnel there, I can directly email her that hey, I want to organize, and she'll be up for it. And they they're so she also comes back and asks like what catering would you like to organize. They even help
wow.
us with the
Oh
some
man.
wait stuff. So
Yeah.
I that has been like a blessing, like because finding a location with presentation and everything, it just get
Oh
difficult.
yes.
Yeah. We go
That
through it all
is
the
one of
time.
our
Yeah.
challenges, Ishaan.
Yeah.
Before
Yeah,
anyway, we'll probably get
yeah,
that solved. But
yeah.
thank you for
So
that
That's
information. And
awesome.
for
yeah, I'd say
yeah,
just reach
anyone
out to
listening.
yeah. They'll
That
probably
is
get in
good.
touch with some yeah, yeah.
You
No,
got us
that's
all
good.
thinking here. We're going,
Yeah.
You got
And
me.
I'll just make sure that's clarified for everyone listening. Okay, that if you don't have if you don't have a space to have like the projectors and whatnot, try to reach out to ServiceNow, because if there's a ServiceNow building near you, you could use it. That's new to me. So
And you can hear what we're all nodding here. Like one of the challenges that we all experience is when you do the learning ones. Obviously, the social ones are really easy. You just go to a bar, you just go to a restaurant. But the learning ones, you need an appropriate space, right? You got someone presenting. You heard
Yes.
Dante talking about having the content ready. Ishaan doing learning sessions. those appropriate spaces, in our experience here in Vancouver, it's two things. Finding them is one, and the other one is extreme cost here. Like it's
Yes.
heavy. But on that note, just watching the time, you both, I think I heard. Well, I know Dante's is tomorrow. Ishaan, I think I heard you next week. So Dante, advertise. Let's hear about your meetup tomorrow. You're going virtual. What's going on?
Okay, commercial and Are you ready to learn all you can about ServiceNow? Well, join me in Charlotte for the Charlotte Meetup. We're going to cover integrations, inbound integration for ServiceNow on the Washington release. We're talking about many things. We geek out and we have what? Fun, fun, fun. Tomorrow, 6 p.m., Thursday. Be there. Income.
Bravo!
Oh, that's
Okay,
awesome.
Now that shows the way they have 60 attendees. That kind of advertising is, Glenn, you and I, we should like bump up our advertising.
The bar has been set by Dante.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I heard you speaking about it earlier. You're going to do an integration learning event tomorrow night.
Yes, absolutely.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Ishaan, I think when you said next week.
Yeah,
but tell us about yours.
Next week on the 26th on Wednesday, like 5:30 p.m. And yeah, it's just going to be a networking and a social catch up. So we'll be having food and drinks, and everyone, please join us if you are in Melbourne, Australia, and even if you are traveling from Sydney or a place like free in the evening, please feel free to join us and hop by. Yeah.
That's awesome. It's just
That is awesome. Yeah.
you're not ready for that, right? Dante set the bar.
We have to practice that. And thank you for promoting your events. I will now do the settings. So everyone in the chat and to everyone that's watching live, if you go to that link in the description of this, if you want to unmute yourselves, go join the Teams meeting. I'm going to be unmuting everyone, or not unmuting. You have to unmute yourself, but I'll be allowing the cameras and the mic. So feel free to turn on your camera and your mic if you want to. That's just happening now. Feel free to. Also, if you're shy, you could put your questions
in the Teams
on
chat too.
the Teams chat or the live chat. So, all right, perfect. Joe has just turned on her camera. Do you want to unmute Joe and say something? You were the one that said lumpia, right?
Yeah, but it was a response because Dante mentioned it on his list of foods, and I caught it.
I see.
Because I love lumpia.
I love it too.
And I had just lost connection before I got my camera on, so I'm glad I was able to get back. Are you able to take a question now?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay. So how much time did you guys have in the ecosystem, the ServiceNow ecosystem, before you began organizing meetups? And also, did you attend any meetups prior to starting to organize one?
Dante, you want to take that one first?
I'll take it. Now, for me, it's like with a grain of salt. I've been doing it for a long time, and I just started doing the meetups. But I've been attending meetups before they were officially meetups. So I would say year 1 and 2, I've been like, I love to say the word geek out. You're going to hear me say it all the time. I love to geek out and talk to people about ServiceNow and just like minds, right? We're all developers, architects, whatever it is. If you're in the ecosystem and you want to talk about it, I love the solution. So I've been doing it since I got started, actually. I would say to anyone, don't let your first year stop you. You know what I mean? Because we don't expect you to have this wealth of knowledge. What you are, I'm a facilitator. I just happen to know what, a lot of it because I've been in it for a long time. So that's going to help aid me. But don't let that stop you. You can definitely be the facilitator, and then everybody will pour in. That's what you really want, right? I don't want to be the know-it-all. I want to be the facilitator. So just take it. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I would resonate with Dante as well. Like so it's about having that volunteer, to basically kickstart the thing. It's not that we need to know everything about like ServiceNow or be a really like a you know like a deep driven expert in ServiceNow. It's about coming up, taking that initiative for the community. And yeah, so when I started, I was just 3 years in the platform, and I just did, and it was like, and where to kickstart, because the chapter was like no one was organizing. So what I did was, as the first presentation, I start organize the meetup, and we can also invite speakers, right? So to present on different topics. So to kickstart and give that a little bump. I asked if Chuck Tomasi can join. you know, so that was my first step that I took to start. And the second one I was talking about App Engine. And again, you can talk about any topic that you are comfortable with. It doesn't have to be just to start. Yeah.
Yeah, and actually to follow up with that, Ishaan, Jo, you don't even be. How long? Actually, let's start with you, Jo. How long have you been in the ServiceNow ecosystem? And you mentioned you're from California, right? Where in California?
Oh, it looks like Joe.
I think she's frozen by the look of it.
Oh, she's dropped off. Oh, that's too bad.
I'll throw my 2 cents. I'll throw my 2 cents on this. One of the things that makes me the most happy when we have our meetup is when you just walking by and you're seeing how everything go, and you see natural conversations happening between attendees.
Yes.
And I have the biggest smile on my face when they do that, and they're just sharing their, hey, I'm working on this. Is anyone, oh yeah, and then this person joined. That's what it's about for me. Like, me personally, it's like, that's why I do it. Like, it's amazing to see that.
I left. I had to leave my meetup early because I have small children, and everybody was like, "Can we hang? Hang on." Right?
Absolutely.
Keep going, and they just continue the conversations, like, and then they say we're going to the bar, and then they continue over there. And I agree with you on that.
Yeah, and usually the meetups that I schedule are for 2 hours, but like people are just there for like 3.
Yeah.
Sometimes even more. Just
I know.
So it's just fun.
Oh, Joe came back. She said she graduated the cohort in November 2023.
Okay, perfect. So Joe, even
coming
if
up on the year.
Yeah, even if you're new-ish compared to us here, you can feel free to start one, because don't be intimidated by, what topic should I be discussing, because a lot of your community will contribute to that. So you don't have to be the one speaking. And ServiceNow actually can provide you with their speakers. Sometimes they fly them over to your area depending on how many people you have. So if you're ever interested, Joe, in starting one, it might not be now, but in the future or whenever, let us know. We'll try to help you. And just keep coming back for all of these live streams. You'll probably be more and more encouraged to start one.
Thank you.
And never be afraid to attend. I've heard people say, well, I knew I'm not ready. You heard Donté said it. Like, every single person is welcome. Like, the one thing you'll learn about this ecosystem is there's a lot of people out there like Donté and Ishaan who want to help, who want to give you information. That's literally what this meetup community is about. You got passionate individuals that want to share, right? And generally the attendees that show up, they have the same passion. They want to share and they want to do it. So I can't stress it enough. Like, just because you're new, if you have a meetup in your city close to you, I highly recommend attending. You're going to meet a fantastic group of people. Fantastic group. And any other? I'm not watching.
Well, there's in LinkedIn, Famela actually just mentioned Famela. I'm sorry, Famela, if I'm mispronouncing it, but I met her in person in the Knowledge, which was so awesome. And she is, so Joe, listen to this. She is a next genner. And in her current job for a year next week. Oh, congratulations, Famela. 1 year next week. Congratulations. And she is already co-organizing her first meetup in London next month.
Applause.
So she said she's so excited, and she added she loves lumpia too. She's Filipino. So Yes, Pamela. Yeah, I hope we could have you as a guest in the future too. I hope you all come back for more of these discussions, and we'll build like a global community.
And are there? I'm not watching the Teams chat. Are there any questions in the chat, or
So
do we have
there's
more?
no more questions, but there are some
Okay.
attendees here in the Teams chat.
Okay.
If you before we all go, this is your chance, whoever's in the team chat, to say something,
Yeah.
even just in the chat or something in LinkedIn too. If you have questions, just feel free to put it in the chat. Oh, actually, while we're waiting for people, I just wanted to say that this is, of course, live streamed in LinkedIn and also in YouTube. And we will soon be sending you, or like a link, sorry, a post with the link to that YouTube so that you'll see the recording. If you can subscribe, that would be great too, because then you could also like chat with us there. Anyone also, please feel free to message Glenn and I, or in that YouTube channel, or where however you can reach us, topics you want to discuss, whether you want to guest, who you would like to see speak, and anything under the sun. Gurdeep was just sending a photo of our last social event in Vancouver, and yeah, we all right. Hosts.
Thank you. And I'll just say one thing.
Sorry, guests.
Thank you, Manette. I'll just say one thing. I heard Ishaan speak about it. I don't think Donté mentioned it, because I'm not surprised, because Donté is famous. Everyone would have come out to see Donté. The last thing I'd want to say for anyone, considering starting a meetup, low turnout. Manette and I struggled with that in the very beginning. The very beginning, when we first started Vancouver, we had, I don't remember, our very first one may have had 5 people, and that included Manette and I. It's like 5 or 9. My advice is, you heard Ishaan say it and you heard Donté say it, and I was internally cheering. For us, it's not. Don't get discouraged. My advice to you is, if you're looking to start, don't get discouraged by low numbers. The community will grow, but just remember your why, right? If you're doing it for numbers, might not be the right why. You're going to do it for the community. You're going to do it to help and share information. So that's my closing out words. But Donté, I'm gonna give you both closing words, but I just want to thank you, Donté Hooker. So remember, Donté's got his meetup tomorrow. I'm super happy to have you on this show for our inaugural one, Donté. Same Ishaan to you. You got yours next week, so best of luck to you both. And then I'll hand it over. Donté, any closing words for the group?
I just say first, I appreciate it. I know that I like these type of things. Giving back to community, that's within my bones. It's giving back in general. And anything I can do. I always joke, say I've been around a long time. But at the same time, somebody's been around longer than me, and they have given me those tools. I always shout beside Valor, Poland, and both, and Mark Standards, for those who don't know. And to me, it's just one of those things to learn from. And then now it's your turn to give. You don't have to wait for so long. Oh, I got to be this top. 1 year can show, 2 months, showing what you learned yesterday can make the world of difference to someone else. I still look at the community today about what's going on and when I need help and ask the question. So I think it's just with these meetups, if you feel like you have something to give and something to offer, yes, you do. And if you feel like you don't, yes, you do.
Love it.
So that's what I would say to anyone here who's listening, to make sure that just make use of your time and yourself, and use your talents as you receive. Make sure you give that back.
Love it, Donté. That's awesome. Love it. Ishaan, same thing. Any closing words for the group?
Yeah, I would like to just reiterate what Donté mentioned, and in addition to that, just don't hold yourself back. If you want to, don't think like you don't have the expertise. Like, personally, from what I see is, I don't see any sort of not getting the right word for that at the moment, but the ecosystem is very welcoming. Like, people really appreciate what you do. So I have not seen like the other way around in my case. So just start off with it, and there will be everyone. There's support all around. I think I've been talking about it throughout the session, how you can get support. So there are a lot of people to help you out. And yeah, just thank you, Glenn and Monit, for having me here.
Thank you.
And hope I was helpful. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, in case there's anything, you feel free to reach me out on LinkedIn, or I'll be happy to help.
Thank you both.
Absolutely. No, thank you so much to you both. And to everyone. I actually want to thank everyone. We were not sure if people were going to show up, and we are so happy you guys are here. Sarah actually joined late, and she said she'll watch it. I think she's still here. Thank you so much, Sarah Troop. Elwin is also saying, we are amazing. Taha saying thank you for us doing this, and Alex, everyone thanking us for this. It's actually, you're very welcome. We're very happy to do this, and thank you. Actually, we thank you more for actually participating, because a community is not a community if people are not engaging with it. So we really truly appreciate it. We just want to keep growing this community. We'll have many different events. Let us know all your suggestions. We'll have a global meetup where everyone can speak at some point, but we have a lot of plans. So thank you so much.
Thank you both for being our inaugural guests. Much appreciated.
Yeah,
thanks everyone.
Thank you so much. All right, thanks everyone. Watch out for the recording. Bye.
Bye-bye.